I continue to be blown away by the final season of Attack on Titan. Mappa is hitting it out of the park. Up until the release, like literally from my understanding from what I was reading, the final hours of this releasing in Japan, the team was polishing it up to the best of their ability to make sure that this episode would be lived up to expectations. And while it's unfortunate to see the level of hate that is being targeted towards Mappa staff, I mean, we're having directors and music producers, things like that, getting targeted for even this episode when they didn't even work on the episode because they didn't like an OST choice last week, or they don't like the 3D and things like that. And while critique is always okay, the hate and death threats that get thrown towards a team putting their everything into the final season is completely disgusting. And honestly, all I have to say is I'm loving this. I read the manga, I buy the manga every single volume, I read it as soon as those leaks are out online. And this was my expectations lived up to, personally. I mean, there's definitely shots I could nitpick, from the scouts to even some of the wider shots. The fast-paced motion of Eren beating the Warhammer's Titan face in, or even the explosiveness of Mikasa or Levi charging in to attack either the Jaw Titan or even the Warhammer Titan. There was so much to love about this, and from the score to the intro, which humanizes Willy even further, knowing that it wasn't just some dumb guy on a stage declaring war. He went up there expecting to die, which many of us probably assumed that Willy was the Warhammer Titan. I know I did when I read the manga, and it turns out it was actually his sister all along, knowing that her brother was going to die. There's so much happening here, and it really does parallel the beginning of Attack on Titan, a young Eren looking at the walls being shattered as giant monstrosities are trampling innocent people, as other smaller monstrosities eat families alive. Where this time, the monster is Eren, and someone like Gabby, who is now put in Eren's position, is watching something so horrendous take place, friends getting killed before her eyes, innocent people being trampled, and all she can do is hate the people behind this. And clearly, with the dagger eyes, the vengeful look, you see exactly what Eren once did. I mean, when you remember when Eren was on that boat, he had such an angry reaction. He was visceral. He was ready to kill those responsible. And you see the same look in Gabby's eyes. And I love that about Attack on Titan's final arc here, is that because we spent so much time inside these walls, similar to Eren, we know that most of them are normal people, but we also understand that the cycle of hate eventually is just going to reach a point where one side will win over the other. Willy was declaring war and uniting the nations against Paradis Island, and because of this attack and having so many innocent people killed from all different sides of the war, it's going to unite the entire world against Paradis Island. And the moment where Mikasa says to Eren, like, look at what you've done, not only have you killed innocent people, look at what you've done and what you just accomplished here. And it's not really a look or sound of, like, accomplishment for her. It's her saying, what did you do, in the most negative way. And then you see from the different rooftops where you have other characters kind of like discussing it. Is this good? Is this bad? And you can easily argue, well, no matter what, war was coming to our doorstep. Eren just took the first step. Or you could argue, was there ever a chance for peace? That peace is now long gone. There's no way, with Eren literally destroying stadiums and stands full of different diplomats from all across the world. There is no going back. And all they can do to hope is that they get the Warhammer Titan on their side, which is my personal favorite Titan in the show. I love the idea of like a controlled Titan body where you kind of hide your body in an Annie-like crystal, protecting yourself away as you basically can harden and turn your Titan into whatever weapon it is. We see a crossbow, we see a hammer, we see swords. It is so cool. And I remember when I was reading these chapters in the manga, I had no idea how Eren was going to get the Warhammer Titan, because I was like, okay, either A, he's not going to be able to crack that skull, because, I mean, she's covered in literally what looks to be Annie's crystal from when Annie hardened herself, and we still don't know if she's still inside that crystal or not, so that was always up in my mind. But also, I was like, could he just swallow the whole crystal? Would that work? Would the digestive system actually be able to like, break down the actual crystal? It's hard to say, but I love that about this. And yeah, there's definitely things you can nitpick, and you can always nitpick anything. Like, I mean, when Eren originally, like, rips the spinal cord or the little tube that's connecting the Warhammer Titan to the actual body, that didn't look the greatest, but I love the pounding and just, like, my boy Eren went all out. I mean, he was beating this girl's face in, and it looked as brutal as I was hoping, and I love seeing that happen and just watching the carnage unfold, because this isn't one of those heroic scenes where you're like, oh yeah, Eren the protagonist comes in to take out the enemy. It's not just that he threw Willy in the air, he went to the stance and he destroyed everything. He made sure there was not an ounce of support left. And while he was doing quite well, if it wasn't for Mikasa and the other scouts coming in, it does look like Eren would have been boned. He was standing there ready to die, and he's like, God damn, these letters better got to the right people, otherwise I'm probably screwed. But I love how you would want to originally say emotionless, but there's so much emotion being conveyed from Eren. He is so stone cold collected. He just has this glare that he never shows an ounce of fear anymore. And he's so cool, calm, and collected about everything. And to see him say, Mikasa, do it now, and to see what happened, it feels so calculated, and you're not sure, is this the best leader in history, or is this a man with nothing left to lose? And you're honestly flipping a coin back and forth, not knowing which side to fall on. From the Willy speech, which I absolutely love introducing it at the beginning of the episode before cutting towards his dead body, knowing that he knew he was going to be a sacrifice for the greater good from his point of view. The fact that he didn't just call Paradis Islands and the Eldians devils and demons, he called everyone demons, which shows that, similar to Eren's thought process, it's two sides and only one side's going to be the victor at the end of the day. Gabby's hatred, which is just so well directed. I love the flames and her looking up at just all the different characters on the rooftops there. Beautifully done, and really does mirror episode 1 and just the beginning of the walls coming down in Attack on Titan's opening, to then just the carnage taking place. And there's gonna be those people who will, I'm not gonna say all of them, I want people to understand that a majority of the Attack on Titan fandom is perfectly normal. But when you have something as large as Attack on Titan's final season, the vocal minority is going to be toxic. And unfortunately, it's to a point where it's disgusting. Hell, I was getting some pretty nasty things myself for just liking the music last week, and I'm like, I'm just enjoying anime up here. I can't imagine what these directors are feeling and these animators, like, giving it their all. If it wasn't for Mappa adapting this, we would have either not had this for probably a longer wait between season 1 and 2 for Attack on Titan, or we would have had a far worse studio adapting it and we would have got something like Berserk 2016 or 2015, whatever year that one came out, or something like One Punch Man season 2. While there's things that you can definitely criticize or wish was different, but I mean, the level of hate needs to stop. I'm gonna try to make it my mission to just stop looking at opinions of Attack on Titan online, especially on things like Twitter and Reddit, because there's some nasty shit being said. I literally saw some people claim that this episode looked like X-Arm. And I'm like, how in your right mind could you think this looks like X-Arm? X-Arm looks like dog shit. Like, come on now. Attack on Titan, I thought hit it out of the park. It has me excited. Like, with the amount of buzz I was hearing about this episode, I looked at the Raws before even watching this episode because I wanted to see, was I actually about to experience something bad? And I was honestly quite impressed. And then actually listening to the words, understanding what was happening. I mean, I read the chapters so I knew what was going to happen, but to actually see it come together with proper subtitles, I love this episode. I've watched it twice now. I am so excited to continue to rewatch it. With the final season, I've been rewatching every episode about 3 or 4 times before the new ones release. I just love it that much, and I'm so excited to see more. I think there was passion here, there was dedication, and it feels like a team who wants to deliver the best quality possible. And I mean, you can go back and look at any of the previous seasons of Attack on Titan, look at the TV broadcast, and then look at the Blu-ray rendition of it. They are night and day. They always do touch-ups, so there'll be even further touch-ups, I'm sure, when this actually does get released. But for a TV broadcast, I'm loving this. And maybe some people call me a fanboy, maybe some people say I'm ignoring flaws. I know what I like, I love this, and I am so excited to see more carnage next week. Warhammer Titan lived up to my expectations, and I'm excited to see how Eren's gonna get out of this one with the anime format next week. Let me know your feelings down below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Your favorite moment? And where do you think this fight is going to go after that dramatic cliffhanger? If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you happen new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.